Find functional hilarity at the Biffa Emporium. Girl, it's what I heard. Allegedly, it's just the word. Allegedly, it's on the street. Allegedly, I sing to the beat. Allegedly, lee, lee, lee. Allegedly, lee, lee, lee. Allegedly, lee, lee, lee. Allegedly.
So we're going to do this in 2 parts because it's 88 minutes and I can only listen to them for 44 at a time. So we open with Nene telling us about the day of the bi-week party, and Greg had just gone to the hospital. She didn't want to film. So she said she told them not to film in the closet, and they went in there anyway because she told production not to. Production encouraged them heifers to go in there. She said she never hit anybody, and the guy that she pulled was really big. She didn't confess to ripping a t-shirt or deny knocking a tooth out, but she says they made it look worse than what it was. She said the other heifers have pushed Andy, flipped tables, broken glasses, and nobody says anything to them. I pull a cameraman out of my closet when I told them not to go in there, and I'm the devil incarnate. Bethenny telling Nene she responds too much. Nene responds when she has interviews. Other than that, she ain't always clapping back. Nene, you were just on Carlos King talking about how everybody was starless. But Bethenny, you're a turd stirrer too. Nene says she ain't got beef with nobody, but they got beef with her. No, they don't. How they got beef from on the show? You can't even get a job. So Nene was never offered a big payout as she was offered less and less episodes. She said, I left because I was being phased out. Nene in denial again. She said the executive said I was unhappy. I don't know how you can tell somebody they're unhappy. And Bethenny said, well, you were reading unhappy on the show. And you were. Your husband was dying. It's okay to be miserable, but that's not what we tune in for. Now, Nene says the other white women were given full episodes, but no, they fired Vicky Gunvalson. They got rid of Ramona Singer. They got rid of, all of Dallas. Caroline Manzo and Jackie Laurinaitis, those were OGs from Jersey, gone. They got rid of Kim Richards. Well, they'd bring her back, then get rid of her. They got rid of Camille Grass. I don't know. There's a lot of white women that have been fired. They fired Tamara Judge. Nene gonna say it was a very important time. It was Black Lives Matter. And I'm an original housewife. And they told me to sit the season out. How far was that reach? Nene, you're also forgetting you didn't really have any friends on the show. Everybody was tired of your attitude, and you didn't have any storyline. Oh, they wanted her to come for candy during her 6 episodes. How many times are you going to say Black Lives Matter, Nene? And it can be Black Lives Matter, and you can have conflict on the show. Married to Medicine did it beautifully. This is giving me black of convenience. This is giving me pander. This is giving me insincere. Girl, you've been arguing with Candy for the past 15 damn years. I'm sorry, I ain't buying it. So Nene said there were things happening to me that I can't talk about, but there were things happening. And Bethenny's like racism, there were things happening. This is like when Pebbles went on Wendy. So she goes back to Kim Zolciak, and it's like, girl, Kim had been off the show for years when you got fired. So nobody ever wanted to talk to Nene about it. You should have had your lawyer talk. Well, I guess you did, and that went poorly. So 3 years ago, Nene filed this complaint, and it's still going on, longer than Kenya's marriage. So because Nene had been making complaints over the years, that's why she thinks she got less and less episodes, not because she had less and less story. So Nene was the leader in the group chat and always made the complaints for the girls. So Bethenny said she feels like things changed at the Andy Cohen baby shower. And she's right, because that's when a lot of the old heifers started getting the axe. The salaries were too top heavy, and the storylines too threadbare. So Bethenny asked her, are you good friends with Andy? And she said no. Were you ever good friends? And she said, well, my friends, I go to their house. I've never been to Andy's house. She said, more than a colleague, but less than a friend. So Andy versus the network, Nene thinks he fits in at the top. Bethenny kind of wants Andy held accountable because 1 minute he's talent, the next minute he's production. He's both. He's fecal o nostril. So now Bethenny goes on a diatribe about burning the house down, and she thought she'd go back to Bravo, and she thinks Andy resents her because she should be beneath Andy because they met and came up at the same time when he was barely a host. He's still barely a host. She says her only friendship with Andy is talking about the housewives. Well, duh. Y'all are colleagues, close colleagues, but colleagues. So Bethenny said, I decided to open my mouth because I was protecting Andy. He wasn't protecting me. And Nene's like, preach. So Bethenny said, once I had enough money, I decided to walk out of the game. And Nene said, yeah, because you white. So Bethenny keeps saying, you burned the house down, you burned the house down. And Nene was like, what do you mean? Well, you took legal action. And she's like, oh, okay. She's like, but I had been taking action. I have my receipts of messages, of emails, of complaints. So Bethenny brings up a point. Well, Nene, part of why your complaint goes nowhere is because it's not technically a workplace, because a lot of what's going on is the court of public opinion. Like, yes, the white girls are able to do stuff differently and they're not held to account on Twitter, partially because black Twitter ain't watching them shows. If we was watching them pink toes, we cuss them out too. I know I do. Jesus, Bethenny, this is just promoting your reality reckoning. Nene, do you feel less alone since this reality reckoning? And, the press is on your side because of the reality reckoning. Why don't we just call it the angry ankle movement? Oh, God, Bethenny wants to do a show with Nene called Ebony and Ivory in an RV. You ain't nobody's Heifer Zolciak, and we didn't want to see that. Also, when Bethenny was trying to shop the project, everybody said Nene's suing. We can't touch that. Oh, stop. Litigious time. Bethenny said she feels like she's starting to get blacklisted too, but Nene's like, yeah, I can't work nowhere. Nene said, look, they call everybody from NBC to EFG. I am Nene Leakes, and I can't get work. Nene said, well, Andy wrote a book and said the door was closed, so the door was closed to me across the industry. I will never forget when somebody asked him about Nene, and he said, well, she asked me to keep her name out of my mouth, so I'm going to honor her and do that. Child, a scorned sissy, honey. So Nene thinks that this abuse is because she opened her mouth. I think a bit of it is because we're kind of sick of you. You read us unhappy. Hollywood hung up the phone on you long before any of this mess hit the fan. So I don't know. So she says Vicki Gunvalson threatened them with the lawsuit and they talked it out with her. Now Nene do got a point. The white girls get fabulous trips, they ride on a Sprinter bus. I mean, hell, look at that Montgomery trip. So Bethenny asks if you could go back, would you do anything different? And she says no. She's like, I couldn't be mistreated anymore. And I can understand that. Nene ain't broke. Well, it's time to get ready for our surprise Friday the 13th Halloween party. So I'm gonna see y'all for that soon. We're gonna watch some live short films together. And that's enough I can take out of Nene and Bethenny. But I'm gonna get to the rest of it and I'm gonna see you soon for something.
Alleged what? Alleged who? Allegedly, allegedly. Don't blame, don't sue. Allegedly, allegedly, allegedly.